What's up, brothers? Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's a nice, cool, gray evening in the middle of fall. And, it's pretty chill. It's pretty relaxed. So I figured, you know what? I'll come out here and I'll give you guys some dating advice. Well, mostly, I just wanted to turn the camera on and shoot the shit with you guys for a little while. So if you got a minute and, you just want to chill and talk, stick around. And what I want to talk about in today's video is a comment that I see a lot in my comment section, and I'm sure most manosphere creators, dating coaches, and people like that, they probably see this comment a lot. So I know it's a popular belief and a popular opinion, and that is that the majority of men out there think that women are confusing. The majority of men out there think that women are complex. They're just confused by women and the choices that women make and the behaviors that women possess. So that's what I want to talk about in this video. Let me start by, really giving you the rude awakening, hitting you with the truth. Women aren't confusing. They're very simple. They're not the slightest bit confusing. And if you're a man out there that thinks women are confusing, the reason you think this is because your brain would subconsciously rather be confused than to see the truth. So, think about that for a second. Pontificate on that one for a second. Now, every woman that you go out with, every woman that you take out on a date, every woman that you're texting with or hooking up with or whatever, every situation is going to result in one of these three outcomes. Outcome number one, she's going to be warm and receptive. That's a good outcome, right? She likes you. Outcome number two, she's going to be cold and she's going to be closed off. Okay? That's not so good. That means she doesn't like you very much. She doesn't want to be with you. Outcome number three is she's going to be hot and cold. She's sometimes going to be warm, sometimes cold, distant, confusing, right? Well, here's the thing. Obviously, if you have outcome number one, you don't need to take any of this faux alpha male dating advice. You don't need to really pay too much attention to any pickup type shit or really study red pill. You can pretty much get away with anything when a woman likes you. Okay? You don't have to worry about looking like a simp, over pursuing. You don't have to worry about any of that shit. She likes you, it's going to be fine. So, understand that. But if you have outcome number two and she doesn't like you, and you're cramming your brain full of red pill, game, pickup to try to convince her to do something otherwise, she's going to be repulsed by you every time because she's already let you know she's not into you. Okay, you're confused because you can't figure out why you're not getting the response you want. But here's the thing. If you ever played linebacker before, the coach is telling you the same thing every day. He says, read your keys. Reading your keys means you look at the offensive line. And it's very simple. It might look complex to people that have never played football before, but it's very simple. The linemen are either going to block for the passer, block for the quarterback, or they're going to pull a hole open for a running back. Okay, so read your keys. Is it a run play or is it a pass play? Right? So with women, don't be confused. Don't sit around in confusion. Read your keys. She's warm and receptive? Okay, cool. We've got something here. She's cold and distant? Okay, cool. We don't have anything here. I'm leaving. Have some self-respect. Get the hell out of there. But here's the tricky part. She's hot and she's cold. Sometimes she likes you, sometimes she hates you. A lot of guys will give you real bad advice on this. They'll say, well, you know, she's fucking somebody else and you're a backup plan or whatever. They'll come up with all these hypothetical scenarios that they can't prove and they have no idea if they exist or not. Here's the truth. When a woman's hot and cold, she doesn't know what the hell she wants. Okay? She's confused. And if you let yourself get lost in that, you're going to be just as confused as her. So, if you're a self-respecting man, if a woman's hot and cold, you just get the hell out. Because, look, it's not your job to convince somebody to like you. It's not your job to convince somebody to be attracted to you. It's not your job to convince somebody to want to sleep with you. That's their job. And if they're unable to come through on their job, ain't nobody got time for that. You know, I was watching a show, this just came to my mind. I was watching Real Game No Theory, which is, I don't know if you guys watch that. They do a show on Sunday afternoons. Mr. Lucario, Steve the Dean Williams, Miles Cunningham, 1950, and Kay Zagan. Anyways, they do a show on Sunday mornings. And a guy on the show, whose name is 1950, he said a statement the other day. And I was just like, sometimes the most simple statements are kind of profound. But what he said was, guys with game have zero tolerance for fuckery. You know, it's a pretty common, like, you should know that already, right? But like, it's a very simple statement, but it's profound, right? He's like simplified it so much. Having game isn't about tricking women into liking you. It's not about convincing people to like you. It's not about putting yourself in a situation that isn't good for you. No, it's about reading your fucking keys and saying, you know what, this is working or this isn't working. Zero time for fuckery, I'm getting out. You know, so anyways, shout out to that show. Good show on Sunday mornings. Check it out. But that was just a cool statement that he said there. But yeah, women aren't confusing. Women aren't confusing. If you're a guy out there that believes that women are confusing, the reason you believe that is because subconsciously you would rather be confused than to see the truth. And it's like that in a lot of situations. You know, a lot of times you just can't accept something. So you create this whole complex scenario in your own head. Don't do that. Read your fucking keys and just go with it. If you knew how silly, how fucking childish the dating game is out there, you wouldn't stress about it at all. I know a guy, I'm just gonna go on a little story here. I know a guy who runs around telling all the guys, all the dudes, that he's a man of God. And God has made it so he can't get an erection until he's married. So he'll tell guys that he has ED, but God gave him ED because God doesn't want him to have sex until marriage. And most of the guys will hear that and they'll like feel sorry for him, like, okay, this guy can't get it up, whatever, right? But secretly, this dude is running around hooking up with everyone's girlfriend. You know, he's sneaking over to people's houses. He's fucking all the women. So he's telling guys this to eliminate the male competition and to have them believing that he wouldn't do that. But secretly, he's running around hooking up with all the women. That's the type of goofy shit. That's the silly shit that goes on out there in the dating game. Like, some of you guys need to realize, like, you're probably better than 80% of men out there, but you're just not utilizing who you are. and what you are. If you realize how silly it was, though. You know, I used to have a friend, in the summertime we'd go on vacations, we'd go down to Miami, sometimes Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. You know, we'd go to different places down in the southeast. This friend of mine, this was before the social media era, so you couldn't just look people up. But he'd tell all the women that he was a doctor, he was like an aspiring actor, you know, he was this like real rich, famous guy. He just lied to them. And, you know, they'd end up sleeping with him. They just bullshitting, just lying to him. And they'd sleep with him. And I'm not telling you to lie to people. I'm not telling you to do what this first guy did either. You know, the so-called man of God. I'm just telling you. You know, half of the men out there are fucking frauds. And they're still getting action. They're still getting what they want. Simply because they're smart enough to read the keys. Right? It doesn't matter, you know, I recommend you be honest and you be yourself and just accept the results. I think that's the best way. That's what I do. But even if you were a con artist, you know, you are like the pickup artist type and you're just trying to play games with women. If you're able to read your keys, it's fucking simple. You go to a bar, you talk to one chick. Oh, she's warm and she's open. Cool. Just stay on her. Make it happen. You talk to a chick, she's closed off and, you know, she's ignoring you. Leave immediately. Don't look like a fool pursuing somebody that doesn't like you. You know, whatever, hot and cold situation. Leave. Ain't got time for that shit. When you read your keys, you don't waste any time. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but you don't stress any of that shit. It only gets complicated when you have kids, or you're married, or the two of you own a home together. You know, if one of those three things isn't in the equation, it ain't complex. Just read your keys and move accordingly. Have fun, enjoy yourself. You know, it's not supposed to be stressful. A lot of guys will sit around all heartbroken. Heartbroken over some chick that they're not married to, they don't have kids with. Like, you have no responsibility to be emotionally connected to a woman, but somehow she has full control over your emotions. That's stupid. Obviously, somewhere along the line, you didn't read your keys. You fucked up. Somebody's got to be honest with you. And then you sit back and you say, well, women are so confusing. This woman is so confusing. You know, I did everything right. You know, and she still dumped me and she's going out with some other guy. No, you didn't do everything right. The second you started to realize she was cold and distant, you stuck around, you should have left. That's where you fucked up. You didn't do everything right. So, a lot of people like to talk about bad boys versus good men, nice guys, right? Doesn't matter which one you are. If you want to live a bad boy lifestyle, hooking up with all the women, you can do that. You have the freedom to do that. If you want to be a good man, monogamous, settle down, you can do that. But regardless of which one you want to be, you can't allow yourself to get caught up in bullshit. That's really all it is. You know, there's a lot of women out there that want to be with a good man. A lot of women out there that just want to settle down and have a monogamous relationship. There's a lot of women out there that just want to have fun. They want to have a good time. They're looking for that hot bad boy to really give it to them. Whatever you want, you can accomplish. You just have to read your keys. Alright guys, I'll go ahead and shut this one off. But, you know, I hope this video was somewhat informative. I'll be back again with another video, maybe in a couple of days. That's about it for today, guys. Until next time, see ya.